All right, guys, welcome back to Nissan GT Academy 2012. We are down to the final 28 contestants here. Of course, we are narrowing down to 16 over the course of this weekend to see who is going to make it over to the next round. They will participate in the event at Silverstone Circuit in the UK. I'm Kevin Aki. I'm joined alongside by Jordan Greer. And pretty cool track and a car combination coming up here.
Yes, this is a very interesting track and car combination. Trial Mountain has been in the Gran Turismo series since the very early days, so it's definitely going to be one that all the competitors are familiar with. One of the interesting things to note about this track is that it's almost twice the length of Tsukuba. So
yes,
we're going to see races play out in a different way, and we're going to have different battles for them. It's going to be a totally different dynamic than what we saw in the first round. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out with the length of the circuit factoring in. It's not a difficult track. You know, there's no real true challenges, but it's one that all these guys are going to be fast at. So what the track may lack in difficulty, the other competitors will make up for in pure speed.
Well, I mean, it's nice to know this is actually one of the combinations that I played when we were tech testing earlier on and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's great.
Now they will all truly be surprises for me after this one, because I did see this one before. But yeah, I expect some pretty fast, pretty fun races in this one. And we were actually following our lead rider here. It's actually our #1 seed overall. We'll get some names of the riders here in just a second. But they are on qualifying. This is a little bit longer, as you mentioned. And of course, this isn't their qualifying lap yet. They'll set it here as soon as they cross the finish line.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. We may get some guys getting a little aggressive in what will actually be this first turn right here. So you can see this turn is famous in Gran Turismo for being able to really get some pretty good air off of that little hillside there. I think every Gran Turismo player has probably given that hill a pretty good whack.
Yes, and or flipped cars off of it if you come at it with the wrong angle. Yes, it seems to happen to me more often than not.
Exactly. So. We could end up with some interesting crashes there if you guys don't keep it clean.
That's right. So that's certainly a possibility as we move on, though. But you notice the cars are significantly faster, and so we'll see what sort of times these guys are going to put up here. It's about a 2.5-mile course, something like that, and they should be able to set a pretty good time, though, as you mentioned before, a very high-speed course, especially through this back straight here.
Yes. It looks like we have the blue car. It looks like the times are coming in.
Yeah, we'll find out here in a second. We're also grabbing the names right now, actually, of our participants. So we're actually looking at Nick Barbado right now, the #1 overall seed from the last round, and we'll follow the subsequent cars here behind that in just a second. So Nick Barbado, Darwin Albino, Nick McMillan, and Kyung Oh are actually part of this. Don't forget, Kyung Oh was actually a participant who had 2 4th places last time, but had the fastest overall time of those tied for the end of the participants. So that's why he was able to make it through as our 28th competitor.
Yes, okay, we've got, should have our first lap coming in here shortly.
Yeah, as looks like he's getting really sideways there, but managing to hold on to it for a while, and he crosses with a 140.647. Very entertaining end to the set there. So we'll watch the other ones as they come in now.
See how much time he lost there with that little slide.
Yeah, and if we could flip over to the other camera here real quick. Yeah, as we can see a 143.106 to Darwin Albino, and it looks like Nick McMillan coming in now and crossing the line with. It looks like he's registering his time.
142.2. So
huge disparity.
Second place, yes.
And we'll see Kyung Oh is our last competitor. He'll be pulling up here in just a second. And looks like he's going to clock in at 141.866. So 28th overall seed, trying to make a charge here.
Great performance by one of our lowest seeded drivers remaining. So this could be very interesting.
There we are. So, okay, well, we have our position then. It looks like it is going to indeed be Nick Barbado, then Kyung Oh, and then Darwin Albino and Nick McMillan right after that. So, big disparity between the times, as we kind of mentioned before, 1 second separating each of the contestants.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how this plays out on a track as long as Trial Mountain. We could see some gaps form. Hopefully we'll get some good battles, have a few chances to see. It'll be interesting to see Kyung's performance if he can maintain those lap times throughout the race. It will be very interesting to see if he can keep that. If not, then we could see some very interesting overtaking attempts on him. We'll just see how it plays out.
Now, this is another round where we have enough competitors where it's likely that those who are in fourth place are probably going to go home, and if you secure yourself a point, you're more than likely going to be safe. That certainly we could find out as we get into the groups that groups are splitting up and everyone's just like combining for 2-3 points down at the bottom or something like that, but we'll find out here in a bit. Looks like our first race is just about to get started, though. 4 laps. It is indeed going to be 4 laps, so similar overall times to what we saw on Tsukuba.
Yeah, longer tracks, so it'll be roughly probably the same amount of time per race, but we will see.
All right, and nothing weird off the start. All the racers getting in line pretty well, although Nick Barbado taking that corner a little bit more aggressively than the second place Kyung-Oh did, so Kyung-Oh falling back a little bit towards third place.
Coming to this corner, everybody's staying pretty clean. We've got some guys running wide. Looks like Nick B.
Kyung-Oh's off, and now he is in fourth.
Yeah.
Man, and he's had such a good qualification lap as well.
Great qualification lap. That's really a shame to see that. Maybe he can reproduce that performance, and it looks like we may have a pretty tight battle here coming up with these guys.
No kidding. 1, 2, and 3 are very close. 2 and 3 especially. So Nick Barbado trying to hold on to the lead, but Nick McMillan in second, just barely fending off Darwin Albino there.
Wow, yeah, Darwin is really making a charge for it, and so is Nick McMillan.
All right. Well, Nick really showed up during the last round as well. We were actually, had the pleasure of being able to commentate his races, and at times he could just turn it on like a madman. So we'll see if we get that same sort of feeling out of him this go round. Starting to stabilize a little bit. I've got to say, Kyung-Oh's done a good job of keeping himself still in a position to be in this race if something weird happens.
He's doing a great job. He's in a great position to take advantage of any accidents or any mistakes that these other guys could make as they get into if they bunch up here, the chance for an accident increases.
Running order still pretty much the same here, though, and they're starting to spread out just a bit. Second and third still closer than first and second at the moment, as Nick Barbado does increase his lead by just a bit. Oh, and lap number 1 going to come in here, but oh wow, Darwin Albino really getting wide there and squirrely.
Yes, he is. Did not get a good turn out there from that last turn.
And we'll see if that allows Kyung-Oh enough opportunity to be able to start working his way back into this. As we can see, he's still quite far back, but that gap is decreasing a little bit. He's only a couple seconds back now.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Barbado was the great beneficiary of that those mistakes that they made. Looks like he's increasing his lead just a little bit.
Yeah, Nick McMillan not really proving to be much of a threat to him quite yet, but we'll have to see if that changes as time goes along. Of course, second lap now. First lap times came in 1:47.569, but those will dramatically improve as the racers have spread out a little bit.
Yes, looks like Darwin may be falling back just a little bit.
Yeah, just a touch there, and we'll see if that allows Kyung-Oh to catch up a little bit. But as we can see, we do have the first-person cam, or we did have the first-person cam there of Nick Barbado, but he's running a really clean lap. The real battle is for second and third. As we see here is a little mistake out of Nick McMillan. Does allow Darwin Albino to catch up a bit.
He is right on his bumper. Well,
yeah, it's going to get pretty close through here, though. So it looks like Nick McMillan making that little mistake just recently is making him drive a little bit more apprehensive.
He's bringing the heat. He's putting the heat on him right now.
All right, well, here comes Darwin Albino. He is right on his bumper now. Less than a car length separating these guys as they tear through the turns. And we're about ready to finish lap number 2, and thus the halfway point of this first heat.
He's right there trying to get any benefit he can from the draft. See if they... got to be careful with that little hill there.
Yeah, no kidding. So, so a 1:41.041 just registered there for Nick McMillan. So certainly a big improvement over his lap time.
Yes,
no kidding. You might switch it back up to Nick Barbado there. I want to see what he was able to lock in last go around. A
140.1. So
wow,
great lap.
Very impressive.
Very impressive lap. Looks like he is extending that lead. These guys are still battling it out.
Yeah. Let's see, a 141. What did Darwin Albino run last time? A 140.651.
140.6. Yes, He's hanging in there.
And he's trying to take the inside line there. Is he going to be able to get enough speed to be able to make it work, though? No, it doesn't look like he's going to. Still very close, but just losing just a hair there trying to pull that inside line.
He's putting some pressure on him, but he may have pulled back out just a little bit. Oh, gosh, they're close to that wall.
No kidding.
Yes,
So,
these guys are, like we were saying, it's not that difficult of a track, but if you know how to drive it, you can really get in some good lap times, and these guys would certainly know this track. So.
Oh yeah, and we've seen people overextend themselves on this track quite a bit as well.
Yes, it's easy to do. It's very easy to do because you feel like you might be able to carry a little more speed than what you actually can through some of these corners.
Yep. And looks like the gap has increased a little bit between second and third. Of course, that still is where the real race is, because first and second has actually just, increased that much more. 140.154, now a
140.1.
No, a 139.3.
Okay,
wow. An 0.8 of a second improvement there.
Excellent driving from Nick Barbato.
That is awesome. So he has really started to stretch his lead. Kiango really just trying to catch back up, as he is running quite far behind, unfortunately, now. But we'll see what's going to develop here. We still have one more lap. It is a long lap, but Darwin Albano needs to make something happen.
He does. This is when he really needs to push. He really needs to push to try and get by Nick there. He's going to be running out of opportunities if he's not able to make a move soon. We'll see these big turns here. You can really, if you can hit the apex like that, you can get a good run up this hill. And looks like he might have done that. He might have made up a little bit of ground.
Just a little bit, but that's where he tried to make his move last lap, and it didn't pan out all that well for him. But a few turns left here, and we'll see if he's going to be able to close that gap a bit.
He's taking a little bit of a different line there. He got the back end just a little bit wide.
Yeah, that may be enough to make things out of shape. Oh, he's trying to go in the inside right now, but he does end up closing the gap just a bit. There's only a couple of car lengths separating them now, so pretty aggressive stuff, but it looks like it almost paid off for him. Is he going to try one more time?
A move.
Oh, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull that one off. Oh, they're rubbing paint now, getting very close. He's going to try and go back around the inside here. Coming down the last couple of corners, he's right on his bumper. But so far, Nick McMillan was able to hold, but he goes off the track just a bit. All right, coming down to the last couple of corners here.
Very fast series of corners here.
Oh, and Nick McMillan goes off. He goes off, and Darwin Albano is able to take advantage of that and pass.
Wow.
He finishes in second.
Great driving right there. That was a tough break, but
wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And through all that, ended up winning by about 0.4 of a second. Results are unofficial, of course, but looks like Nick Barbato, Darwin Albano, Nick McMillan, and Kiango perfectly in the seed order, actually.
Yeah, Nick McMillan, he still managed to get a third-place finish, so he didn't lose out on second place, but, not too bad of a result for him. So it's still a great result to be proud of.
That's right. A couple of points is probably, once again, I'll reiterate, of course, we're in the first group, so we don't know if this one is going to be so much more competitive than the last, but a couple of points is going to be enough, more than likely, to be able to advance you into the next round. So it's really just about keeping it on the track, still being a little bit conservative at this point.
Right.
As we start to narrow down tomorrow, though, I expect the intensity to ramp up a little bit.
Yeah, you'll need to start getting the first and second places, and that's really the guys that will move forward. So, tomorrow the competition will get even closer, but really a pretty good show so far, I must say.
That was a pretty good way to start this one.
Yes, it was.
We'll be moving into the second heat here in just a second. It looks like our racers are actually getting into the course, so things should be moving here pretty soon. Again, big thank you to everyone who is helping to put on this event. Of course, we represent the IGN Pro League. We put on a bunch of big esports events. You can find our stuff on twitter.com/IGN Pro League or on IGN.com/IPL. Nissan, of course, for putting on the entire GT Academy. And, of course, we did have, a number of sponsors come in and help with equipment, and they certainly should be mentioned as well. So thanks very much to everyone who's helped putting on this event.
Yes, a great job by everybody involved. Had a few technical difficulties, but the guys worked through it, and we're up and running great now.
Yeah, and it seems like everything's actually moving quite smoothly.
Quite smoothly, yes.
All right, so
I'm anxious to see how this race turns out. It'll be interesting to see if Kiang can maybe make a comeback here. This is his last shot, so he had a tough break there, but
yeah,
this is his shot. So
We'll see if things can switch up for him. Looks like they are in their running order now, so the race is going to start here in just a second. Indeed, countdown has begun, so we are 35 seconds to race time, and a lot of things could happen here. You know, Kyung ran the second best qualification lap. He ran a 1:41, which was actually a little bit slower than his overall lap time in the actual first heat. So I would expect him to be able to step it up and hopefully give the second and third guys at least a run for their money.
Right, I hope so. I'd love to see a great race. I think these guys are pretty evenly matched, and we should have a really great three-way battle. I don't know about Nick Barbado. He may continue to pull out. We'll see. He seems to have this course and car combination down pretty well. Looks like we're about to start the race now. So
yeah,
we will see. I'm excited to watch this race. This should be good.
All right, so there we are. Everyone is on the starting grid, and things are getting loaded up here. So we'll take a look at our racers. Countdown has started. 3, 2, 1, and they're off. So we're taking a look at Nick Barbado's view here, as you can see, and he did dominate in the first heat, and certainly looking to repeat here.
Yes, we didn't get to talk that much about him, but he did a great job in that race. He built up a great gap, and see if he can do it again.
All right, so all of our racers falling into order pretty well, but Nick Barbado already, the bigger gap is between first and second than anywhere else, so taking even that smallest bit of a lead there.
It was an interesting line that he took. I noticed he really came out far to the left to really widen out that turn as much as he could, so interesting technique. Seems to be paying off for him so far.
I was about to say, yeah, it's worked pretty well and making me consider my own technique. So
he's taking full advantage of the track.
Ooh, Nick McMillan got a little bit out of hand there, and Kyungo unfortunately wasn't able to take advantage of that quite yet, but maybe detecting a little bit of weakness, and the real battle is now for third and fourth.
Yeah, that's where the action is right now. Kyung may be making a move this next turn. It's one of those really wide sweeping turns.
He tried to pull out wide there, and he's actually running alongside, and he does indeed take third for now if he can hold it and keep it straight a little bit. We'll see. Nate McMillan was
side by side.
Yeah, he was able to pull out a little bit better power coming out of the turn and was able to start to retake that, and it looks like, wow, that is actually exceptionally close. I can't call who's going to take that one here, but this next corner will determine it.
Yeah, this complex of turns here. Ooh,
wow, Nate McMillan,
he got a little hairy there.
Whoa, man, he is really trying to overtake that. Now, see, he tried not to get out of shape. He did want Kyungo to kind of push him all over the course, so he kind of cut in too far inside and almost lost control of his car, and Kyungo was able to kind of slip into third, and you need those points, so he's doing everything he can to survive.
Exactly, yeah, this is a great showing by Kyung. He's fighting back. He's doing exactly what I said he needed to do, so good job so far.
And things have tightened up a little bit in first and second as well. So as we can see, they're getting pretty close there. Darwin Albano, not forced to be behind Nick McMillan pretty much the entire race, is able to start picking away at Nick Barbado. Yeah,
he's cutting into his lead. We may have a little action up front here pretty soon if he keeps this up. Looks like Nick Barbado has the fastest lap, 145, 148, 149. So
yeah,
we'll see if what Darwin can do here.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to make a move here. In fact, was a little off course a second ago, and it looks like Nick Barbado was able to use that to his advantage. Things have tightened up again, though, at third and fourth, as Kyungo has slipped just a little bit. Or rather, he hasn't actually slipped all that much at all. He's starting to catch up a little bit to second and first. Nick McMillan is just kind of driving with a purpose at the moment.
Yes, and he does have a purpose. Every point matters. As you said, we're now in round 2, so the competition is going to be much stiffer. Yeah,
if we remember, Nick McMillan was actually in second place up until the very end of the last heat, and then was forced to third, and now, a big hit on the wall there.
Yes, and that cost him that position. He didn't put up too much of a fight there and let him by. He conceded that mistake. So very gentlemanly racing.
Yes, they tip their hats to each other as they pass. Yeah, go on.
Exactly. It's always great to see that. Very high caliber of racer here today.
Things have split up a little bit in first and second, as it looks like Nick Barbado pulling just a little bit farther ahead, setting some pretty good lap times there. As we see things, the real racing, I should say, is on third and fourth at the moment.
Yes, Kyung really needs to get that position back to get that point. We'll see if he can do it. We're on lap 3, so he's running out of time. We'll see if Nick McMillan makes a mistake.
Kyung tried a really aggressive line there.
Very aggressive line. It might have actually worked for him. He seems to have caught up a little bit.
I think he kind of messed with Nate's head a little bit there, or Nick McMillan's head there a little bit.
Yeah, he's right in his mirrors, so that's an intimidating thing.
All right, well, we'll see if that's going to develop any further. 1-2 still running pretty normal, so
check in on them, yeah.
No real surprise there. Once again, Nick Barbado is just destroying a 140.073 so far as his best lap.
Yeah, he's putting on a great show. These guys are side by side now, going into a very fast corner. Kyung actually has will have the inside line here, so we'll see what he can do with it.
All right, we'll see if he can sneak out in.
Oh, the old over-under.
Yeah, no kidding. And
yes.
It looks like Nick McMillan is able to pass right back underneath. So there we are.
Great show of driving here. Great pass.
All right, so we'll see how this is going to pan out here in just a second. But Nick McMillan, once again, holding on to that point. You know, it's probably going to come down to 0 and 1 points again as far as who's going to be eliminated from this round. So just being able to collect 2 points is probably going to be enough to put him through to the next round. So this is certainly kind of do or die for him.
Yes, it is. We're coming up on the last lap here. So if Kyung is going to make a move, looks like he's thinking about it there, but this is the time to do it. Ran a little wide there,
yeah.
But he's still in good shape.
Puts him about another car length or two behind. But, man, he is really aggressive through these runs. He wants to catch up all he can. He knows that his tournament life is on the line here.
Yeah, he is really putting it all out here, and we'll see if it pays off for him as long as he is able to keep his emotions in check and just keep a clean drive. I mean, he still had that great qualifying performance that he set, so you know, he's capable of getting in a good lap. Let's see what he's running here. He had a 141.1, and so Nick McMillan is actually a little faster. He's running a little faster than Kyung. Nick actually hit the wall there, if you saw that, so we've lost a little bit of time.
Just a bit. It looks like that is enough for Kyung to be able to kind of close that gap by another half car length or so. So still a little bit behind, though. Still just a bit back in the splits, and we're coming up to a couple critical corners. This is where Kyung has made his move in the past couple of laps, and I would expect him to try and do the same here. Yeah,
he seems to be really quick here, and he gets a good run up that hill. I'm not sure. He's going for that inside line. Oh, we could have some contact.
Yes, we did. Oh, wow. And Nick McMillan, as a result of the contact, is driven into the wall. And we'll see what the race officials have to say about that.
Yeah, the stewards will definitely want to check that out. You know, it's a racing incident. You know, both guys are fighting for their tournament life here, and so things happen. We'll just see how this turns out.
Okay.
Kyung is still holding that third place.
And 1 and 2 are about to come across the line here. Nick Barbado well in front of Darwin Albino, but it's really going to come down to this 3 and 4. Just a couple of corners left, and we'll see if Nick McMillan can make a move here. He's right on his opponent's bumper, and we'll see if Kyung can hold on to this. Getting very close here right through the finish, and it looks like Kyung will be able to take it.
Takes it.
So unofficially, we had Nick Barbado taking first, Darwin Albino in second, Nick McMillan in fourth, and Kyung Oh slipping in there in third. So that's 1 point to each, Nick McMillan and Kyung Oh. 12 points to Nick Barbado. He will certainly be moving on to the round of 24, and Darwin Albino with 6 points himself. Yeah, it's great to see Kyung score that point after that being on the bubble like that. He was really close to being eliminated, but great performance, great race. That was a lot of fun to watch. Round 2 is off to a great start. All right, so very close stuff in each of our rounds so far. I hope you guys have been enjoying the action, and